Hey, welcome back to my spiritual therapy. It's Miss Mocha, your spiritual therapist. I'm coming to read you some verses out of Deuteronomy because I believe this is what God is saying to me. Deuteronomy was really about the Israelites' journey from the wilderness into their promised land. And so these little verses I have are speaking directly to the chosen ones, the 144,000, the children of Israel, who God was speaking to when he was trying to let them know what they should be doing once they got to their promised land. This is significant for me because I believe God is getting ready to take me out completely out of my wilderness into the promised land. I know it's been a while. I thought that I would be there by now, but it's levels and steps to this journey. For 40 years, you wander around the wilderness and you get prepared and you get taught lessons and things like that, and then you gradually make your way to the promised land. It's not a boom boom boom, it's a long ongoing process, but we will get there, me and the rest of the 144,000. So I just want to read these verses. Let's see. So Deuteronomy chapter 10 verses 12 says, this is what God requires of us. And now, Israel, what doeth the Lord thy God require of thee, but to fear the Lord thy God, to walk in all his ways, and to love him, and to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul. And then chapter 10, verses 20 through 21 says, thou shalt fear the Lord thy God, him shalt thou serve, and him shalt thou cleave and swear by his name. He is thy praise, and he is thy God, that hath done for thee these great and terrible things which thine eyes have seen. And then reading out of Deuteronomy chapter 11. Yeah, these verses kind of, I'll read them. I'll start with verse 8. Therefore ye shall keep all the commandments which I command you this day, that ye may be strong and go in and possess the land whither ye go to possess it, and that ye may prolong your days in the land which the Lord sware unto your fathers to give unto them and to their seed, a land that floweth with milk and honey. For the land whither thou goest into possess it is not as the land of Egypt from whence ye came out, where thou sowest thy seed and waterest it with thy foot as a garden of herbs. But the land whither ye go to possess it is a land of hills and valleys, and drinketh water of the rain of heaven, a land which the Lord thy God careth for. The eyes of the Lord thy God are always upon it, from the beginning of the year even unto the end of the year. Take heed to yourselves that you be not deceived, and ye turn aside and serve other gods and worship them. And then the Lord's wrath be kindled against you, and he shut up the heaven, that there be no rain, and that the land yield not her fruit, unless ye perish quickly from off the good land which the Lord giveth you. Behold, I set before you this day a blessing and a curse. A blessing if ye obey the commandments of the Lord your God, which I command you this day, and a curse if ye would not obey the commandments of the Lord your God, but turn aside out of the way which I command you this day, to go after other gods which ye have not known. So basically, he's telling us we have this blessing. We get this good land. We get this land flowing with milk and honey. We get all these good things that come with this promise if we obey his commandments. If we do not, of course, we don't get the land flowing with milk and honey. We don't get the promise. We don't get the blessings. We get curses. So I think that these verses are good to know, because once we get to that land, we need to do right by God, period, point blank. So that's all I want to come and say. As always, thanks for listening.